Hello, Leo. Welcome to your July 2018 reading. Thanks so much for being here. I am in beautiful Montenegro. Hopefully you can kind of see it as the sun goes in and out. My focus is all off, but doesn't matter. I'm feeling very serene right now. It's a beautiful setting, and it's a beautiful month for all of us. It's a beautiful month. It's a beautiful time. This Mars retrograde is going to be a really amazing time to test how far we've come, especially for you guys. I have a feeling, based on the reading and also the stars, that someone will resurface or someone will come in contact with you, and it really is going to be a great time for you to say, okay, self, how far have I come? How much have I really learned? How much have I really grown? And you're going to have an option to continue down this path, and you're going to do so with a sense of feeling sure, feeling incredibly sure that this is where you're supposed to be going, that this is how it's supposed to work. And with Mars retrograde in the 7th house, right, the sign opposite of yours, it does affect relationships, right? 7th house is about partnerships, so it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be any kind of partnership or any kind of relationship that you have, a one-on-one type of thing, that is going to be revisited. And I do think a lot of you are going to have an opportunity to reject someone or to walk away from something once and for all. And it's like it's going to be the last time that this is going to happen. And as we have Venus moving into Virgo, which is the ruler of your 2nd house, which she loves to be in the 2nd house. This is the house naturally ruled by Taurus, and it has to do with self-worth and self-value, self-love. And she's going to shine, and she's going to push you, and she's going to force you to uphold those standards, because, man, does Virgo have high standards, right? And she wants things to be fair, and she wants things to be just. So in order to achieve fairness, in order to achieve equilibrium, she will bring about something karmic, right? She will bring about a scenario or a situation where you can make it fair. You can take back your power, if you will. It's going to be a wonderful time. Mercury retrograde happening later in the month in the sign of Leo, your sign. It's going to enhance that beautiful creativity of yours. You're going to feel very deeply connected. And this is a time for you to tap in to your intuition and tap into this new direction. Am I saying all that right now? I feel like I'm kind of going off. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. The cards are more important anyway. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you next month. Bye. Hello, Leo. Welcome to July. This card came out exactly like this for Cancer as well. I just did the Cancer reading. I'm hesitating because actually I shuffled and this card came out, and I was like, no, let's do it again. So I shuffled and then this card came out again. And there is this pull for you to be inside, for you to keep it contained, keep your energy on reserve, but still yet to be of service. Because we have Mars going retrograde in the next couple days, it is not a good time to be, I hate even saying this is like terrible advice, but it's not a good time to be super ambitious. It's a time to learn about your path through giving toward others. It's about learning about your future, learning about your purpose through others. You will have people come back in your life. You will hear from people you don't want to hear from. You will hear from people you do want to hear from. But it's all purposeful for you and your journey. It's not necessarily about them. It's not necessarily about you and them. It's about you. Four of Pentacles comes out and indicates staying still. There is stillness here. Hanging on to your path, hanging on to your goals. Whoa, okay. There's stubbornness with the Four of Coins, however. There is stubbornness. There is an element or an essence of not really wanting to budge. But I gotta tell you, this month you don't really have a choice. In the house of your subconscious, we have the Sun coming in direct opposition with Saturn in the next couple days. And later on in the month, we have the Sun coming in contact with Pluto. It is a transformative month for you. Things from your subconscious absolutely will surface. You cannot hide from yourself. You cannot ignore the forces. You just can't do it. The way you cannot ignore a tidal wave. The way you cannot ignore a hurricane. Now, I don't think this is going to be like huge. I think we've gone through a lot of the huge stuff already. Uranus coming into Taurus, Chiron coming into Aries, Pisces season was kind of a mess. Capricorn season was super hardcore. And that was when a lot of things were changing in the outside world and making the inside world difficult to live in. But now things are changing on the inside world. Karma is at play here. Because Saturn and Pluto both are coming online for you. Your ego, you, your ruling planet, the sun, the ego, the self, is sort of on the chopping block. It's going to be put up on the witness stand and asked. It's kind of like the feather of Ma'at, right? Am I saying it properly? Ma'at. The Egyptian justice system. When someone dies, their heart is placed on a scale. And if the scale, the heart is placed on a scale against, and on the other side of the scale is the feather of Ma'at. And if the heart is lighter than the feather, then that person can proceed. If it is heavier than the feather, then they must try again. So the question is, how light is your heart? How full of love? How full of gratitude? How full of giving and compassion is your heart? If you come up short, then now is the time to make the changes that are necessary in your life. Now is the time to absolutely break free from anything that is holding you back. If you stay in circumstances that are not good for your soul, then it is your own doing. You are only hurting yourself at that point. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It has nothing to do with anyone, what anyone gives you or what you give to anybody. There are no victims here. We are the designers of our life. We are the innovators. I always say my King of Wands is like my Steve Jobs of the tarot. Person that can completely revolutionize the world. That's you, Leo. That's what you have the power to do, to revolutionize the world. You are just as much Aquarius as you are Leo. And it is through yourself. It is through the power of your voice, the power of your will. That's what you are, right? That's what Leo represents, right? I will.
Kids up here, Disclosure Fest 2018, yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
What was that? That's my studying a festival thing that just happened. Someone posted a live feed. I was like, just clicked on it. But yeah, that's what you are, right? Gemini is I think, right? So we had a dose of Gemini season. We're in the midst of Cancer season, which is I feel. And Leo is I will. And it is important for the will of the spirit to be lived fully. Clearly, the devil is plaguing you. There is some kind of noose around your neck. You feel confined, restricted. You feel like there is something that you can't do or shouldn't do. Some sort of obligation, some sort of oppressive force. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse is telling me to stop feeding the oppression. It goes away the minute you say no. And that's the power of your free will. Your ability to say no. Your ability to shun something. There's darkness here with the dark horse, the black robes. Certainly 12th house stuff. 12th house is a black house. I would say that, right? Black meaning under the surface, right? Unilluminated. But the sun is there for you. So the darkness is getting illuminated. There's nothing you can do about the feelings, okay? We are in the I feel season. There's nothing you can do about the feelings. There's nothing you can do about the new moon in Cancer and the full moon in Capricorn that's going to be conjunct Saturn, okay? Karma is on the docket. You are facing some form of judgment. Now is a good time to make amends, especially because I know you will be hearing from someone for sure. Something will resurface. It might not be what you expect. It might not be the ex-lover that you expect to hear from. It could be a friend that you haven't talked to in years. It could be an old boss that reconnects, an old business associate that has a job to offer. Could be a myriad of things. But now I'm almost getting the words, it's time for a do-over. It's time for a do-over, a clean slate. A time for you to reject someone or something that rejected you initially. Or it's time for you to step into that regal power. It's time for you to assert yourself as a self-master. You do not have to feed the darkness anymore. Set yourself free from those things that have been plaguing you. You know, set yourself free from the oppressive forces in your life. If money is a thing, the more and more you try to hang on to money, the less and less money you have. Money is fluid. If you are experiencing financial difficulties right now, money is fluid. It goes out, it comes in, and there's always a way. There's something magical about this reading, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't quite know exactly what it is. When I say magical, it's almost like the magic of our own darkness. the magic of that, because the darkness isn't bad. Our underworld, right? The Plutonian qualities, it's never bad. Nothing is bad. Nothing is never even really good. Good and bad is merely just our own perception and our own experience of duality. There is this Capricorn, because here we have this Capricorn stuff going on, this Cancer Capricorn axis. And it is going to force you into an uncomfortable region of your psyche. It's not where you like to be. It's not where a Leo likes to be. A Leo enjoys the pleasure of life. It enjoys the good things. It is a sign of fun. And I'll tell you what, like, my Leo friends are like the most fun people that I have ever met. Like Leo and Sagittarius, Aries, all the fire signs, 100%. Life is an adventure. Life is meant to be explored. It's meant to be experienced in all ways. And so when you are feeling dragged down, it feels, I think, more intense for you. You know, water signs, they can kind of handle it. Earth signs, they can handle it because they're kind of always under these oppressive forces anyway. But you, not so much, unless you have that stuff in your natal chart, you know, which is possible, but that's not your vibe. It's not your style, you know, but we all have to go through it at some point in time. We all have to deal with sitting in the judge, like getting called for jury duty, right? Eventually it's going to happen. And here you are. And I think there's kind of this lie in wait sort of vibe. It's 10:44 exactly as I'm saying this. 10:44 a.m. where I am as I'm saying this. It's kind of this lie in wait and see what happens. In the meantime, please, please, please be sure that you are not forgetting to give to others. I said the same thing with Cancer. It's not a time to be stingy with your time and your resources and your energy, okay? It might be time not to be ambitious about things, but because your ego is on the chopping block, okay, and it's happening in a very difficult house, the 12th house for you guys, you're going to need to see yourself through the eyes of others. It will help. It will help make things easy. You're going to need to see yourself in others as well. To see them in you and you in them. And to see another person's need for dignity. Another person's need for safety and emotional security. And it is a reflection of your own. It will be an important time for you to put that ego in check. We all have an ego, and sometimes we get lost in trying to satisfy the needs, the base needs of that ego. The ego can be used for amazing things. And we need to be sure that we're not tapping in to the worldly, the material qualities of that ego, because Capricorn is an earth sign. There is a tendency to go toward the worldly, the things that you can see, touch, feel, smell, taste. But we all know that that's not all there is. To step away from the worldly, to give up the sensory satisfaction and seek spiritual satisfaction, because we know that worldly satisfaction is not satisfying. We know that, we accept that. I think anyone will tell you, yeah, money doesn't make you happy. It doesn't buy happiness, right? People say, well, it can buy you the things that make you happy. Bullshit. That's bullshit. Analyze your own material. Analyze your own obsessions, your own desires. Analyze your own vibrations. You can feel when your vibes are different than someone else's vibes, you know? And so by interacting with others, by connecting with others, you can gauge what's good for you and what's not. See, Mars retrograde is happening now, and it is putting us all in this holding tank, which we've been in for a couple months. Uranus transit last month was pretty crazy, or in May was pretty crazy. Was it May? I don't even know what month it is. What month is it? June? Yeah, last month. A month and a half ago. It was pretty crazy, and we all had these desires to act and to make these changes, and yet I kept saying, you know, now's not the time, now's not the time, because the energy needed to reset and to reboot. For you, Leo, you needed to go through this judgment process. You needed to be held up on the scales. And because Mars is happening in your 7th house, you are being held up on the scales. You and someone else. You against yourself, you against the world against itself. And it is Aquarius, and humanity is on the docket. Service is on the docket. The Empress reverse. The Empress reverse, I see a woman with some of the negative Venus qualities. A person with some of the negative Venus qualities. This could be you, it could be someone else. I'm sensing it's someone else that you're dealing with. There's vanity. There's jealousy. There is competition. Someone is displaying qualities that you don't like. And clearly you are trying to separate yourself from, as you can see from the directionality. They are trying to project things onto you, and you are having none of it. Which gives me an indication of your level of strength, which is pretty high, which is great. We have Venus in your sign, you know. Right now. Venus is in your sign, and you are proud of what you have accomplished, and you're proud of your progress. And one thing a Leo doesn't often do is go backwards if it can help it. It doesn't hang on, it doesn't cling. It can, but in this case I'm not seeing that. In a way, it's almost like a mirror to your past, who you were versus who you are. This person is your reflection. This person is displaying behaviors that you did in the past, therefore giving you a gauge of how far you have come. Many of you will happily sit up on that witness stand. You'll happily have your heart measured against the feather, and you will say, I am proud of where I am. And I do deserve to move forward. I do deserve this next chapter. And I energetically reject backward motion, repeating bad habits, repeating bad behaviors. You are effectively breaking free from your karma. It's a wonderful place to be, not gonna lie. Something is waiting in the shadows to come to light. That's why you're in a holding period right now, because something is waiting to surface. That's what happens with the Judgment in reverse. clearly something that will enable you or encourage you to move forward. Something that really clung to you at one point in your past seems to no longer matter. See, here's the oppression that I was talking about. Here's that same sort of heaviness, that heavy quality. There's clearly some form of desire still present. There's clearly some form of wanting. And the real test is, see, desire, wanting, longing. The question is, if it's not in your best interest to have that thing and it resurfaces, because clearly it will, can you act in accordance with the best interest of your soul versus acting in accordance with the best interest of your immediate ego needs? Those of you who are strong, those of you who are fully conscious, this is not even, it's like a no-brainer. It's not even a thing. I think you'll recognize the test when it comes. And when I say test, it kind of is a test. Saturn is a teacher after all. He's a teacher, and he will keep teaching us the same things over and over until we finally get it. So this is your opportunity to declare that you finally get it. You understand. You see it now. Immature Leos won't pass this test. They won't. They can't. Only mature people, high vibrational people, can pass this test. Okay? Now we have a lot to clarify in the comprehensives. Clearly the Devil, Knight reversed, Five of Cups, the Empress reversed. Okay, also Judgment reversed. These over here will be clarified in the comprehensive, and I'll put the link down below for you. If you want to join me there, fantastic. If not, then I will see you next month. Thank you guys so much, and have an amazing Cancer season. Take care. Bye-bye.